Hi YouTube, what's up? How's your night going? Alright, so this year was the first year I ever did Inktober. It was tons of fun, but I mean, honestly, I didn't think I would see through the whole thing, and I did, and I have to say, I'm kind of proud of myself. So I thought I'd, make a little video of it. This is also like the first video I've ever done, so if it's not great quality, I do apologize. But anyway, yeah, let's get started. Inktober 2017. Oh, this was something my my animation teacher just kind of tossed on my desk. You want to read it? Here you go. When you hear people talk about irrational fears, I do not know how to say this. Taphophobia, wow, is by no means one of them. Fearing being buried alive is very, very rational, I'd say. But anyway, here's Inktober. So here's the first entry. I didn't really know what I was doing. I like to experiment with a lot of things, but this was the first time where it was like, you just have to do ink. So here we are. This theme was Swift. I was doing Jake Parker's theme for this first year since I didn't want to overthink it being my first year. So here's Swift. This, the theme is divided. You can see where I did the little thumbnails over here, but this is actually one of my friends. It's her characters. If you want to go check out her art, it's awesome. Her name is Rednecked Crake on Instagram. Go check her out. But anyway, here's Thomas, here's Henry, and they have a whole story that goes with it called Tamarav. I don't know if she still has it online, but she still has drawings of these characters on her Instagram, so yes, go check her out. She's great. This one, I think, was one of my favorites, if not my favorite, throughout all of Inktober. At least the ones I did, anyway. The theme for this is poison, and I don't know if you can see it in the video, but he's got like his little cigarette, and she's the smoke kind of coming out. This is actually one of my characters, Curtis. I don't actually know if he smokes. I still need to sort out his story and everything, but he seemed like a good subject for this. And this theme is underwater. It was, I was watching a video about, what happened to some of the victims on Titanic, and they were saying that one lifeboat was found 200 miles away from where the whole tragedy happened, and it just kind of makes you wonder what happened, like how did, other than ocean currents and stuff, how did they end up 200 miles away? So that's kind of what inspired this. The mermaids, I know, weren't part of the disaster, and I mean no disrespect by kind of getting inspired off of this, but I mean, at least I didn't make a movie out of it. It was a pretty good movie, though, I have to say. This one, the theme is long, and I actually wasn't sure what to draw for this day. So I was like trying to wonder it in the evening. I was really cutting it close, and then my cat, he walked in, and I'm like, okay, I'll draw a long cat. So this is my cat Jinx with many legs. He's very pleased to have all those legs. This one, I had traveled on vacation for the weekend, so I didn't have a huge amount of time to do this, and it wasn't fantastic lighting in the camper we were staying in, but here's a couple. The theme for this is sword, and this is just a couple of my characters sword fighting. They're actually enemies in their story, so it kind of works out. This is Nolan St. Lottie. This is Auburn. He doesn't really have a last name. Day 7 is Shy. I was still on vacation, so yeah, I just kind of drew the first thing that came to my mind. It's a Cyclops. Get it? Shy? Cyclops? Cyclops? Yeah, anyway. He actually reminds me of a kid I know. Just kind of the way he's standing and stuff, so maybe he kind of inspired me. This one is Crooked. My sister actually modeled her mouth for this. Her teeth aren't actually that crooked. I just kind of took the basic shape of a mouth and went crazy with it. So, yeah, her teeth are way nicer than that, but thank you, Michelle, for modeling. And here's Screech for the theme. This was inspired off of the ride home from vacation. My sister, she showed me, or no, she turned on her iPod, I'm sorry, and she kind of introduced me to Eminem and things like that. And while I'm not really a rap person, there were a couple really good songs by him. I like that Mockingbird one, and what was the other one? He sang it with Elton John, and it was about a guy named Stan, but those are really good. And this kind of all those songs kind of inspired his whole look and everything. Not that Eminem screeches, but I thought it was a pretty good idea for the theme. The theme for this one is gigantic, so of course I did David and Goliath, because why not? This was the first one I tried in Inktober, experimenting with an ink wash, and I had a lot of fun with it. So you're going to see a couple more ink wash ones throughout, but I think this one's the first one. And here's one. The theme is run, and while they're not actually running, feet can run just like refrigerators, but they're not refrigerators, they're feet. I kind of tried to make it look like one of those old medical journals from back in the day with like the cross-hatching and all that. And this one was pretty fun. I'm actually not that great at drawing feet, so you can see me practicing right before I drew this. So it's not great, but I like how it came out overall. And here, this is not a turtle. It is her heart. It's meant to be shattered because that's the theme. She's actually a character from another story of mine. Her name is Agnes, but you can see the little photo of her bow down there and the candles, and kind of tried a ink wash here. I don't know if you can see it in the film, but I tried combining the gold ink with the black ink. I kind of like how it turned out. You can't see it very well in the film, but oh well. And then this one, this was another ink wash one. I had a lot of fun with it. The theme is teaming, so I figured why not draw the woods with a bunch of animals teaming in it. So you can see the ink wash here. The eyes were done with Copics, which turns out to be really fun. I mean, they're expensive, but they're totally worth it. They are, I promise. This one I like. You kind of have to look at it for a while because it's got a bunch of different perspectives. Like, you've got the dragon here, and then her fighting, and then the dragon's smoke, and then there's the shadow behind her. But here's another one, another couple of my characters, Luke and Kaj. Oh, and the theme for this one is fierce. So, this is actually from a story I had in early high school, so it's been a while. But it was kind of fun to draw them again, honestly. I haven't drawn them in ages. This one is Mysterious, and I had fun with this one too because all the loose lines of the hair and everything. I do wish I made her eye green though, because if I had, it would have gone perfectly with this Margaret Atwood book I like a lot called Oryx and Crake. Go check it out if you like science fiction stuff. But that's about it for this one. I should have made her eye green, but it was a lot of fun anyway. And here are my darling kitties. The theme for this is fat. I mean, our youngest cat, he's precious, but he does have a bit of a pudge around the belly. So here they are, Jinx, Edgar, and Flop. And they're really sweet kitties, and I love them all, and they're precious. And for this, the theme for this is graceful. I was at work, and my boss, she interlibrary loaned a Baryshnikov book, and it's just filled with pictures from throughout his career, so I borrowed that from her for a couple minutes and just kind of sketched the some of the poses I really liked. So that was a lot of fun, and I kind of wanted a bluish, greenish theme going to it. And overall, I kind of like how that came out. I think these two are my favorites. These two sketches, these three people, whatever. So there's Graceful. This one is filthy, and I had a lot of fun with the perspective of this one, with the mom and dad's hands kind of like, ah, while the kids there like, can we keep him? One of my other sisters actually modeled with Edgar, my cat, for this picture, and Edgar wasn't very happy about it, so I just took a quick photo on my phone and worked from there, because Edgar was having none of it, poor guy. But yeah, he's been immortalized in my Inktober now a couple times. Alright, and this one is Cloud. And you can sort of see the ink shimmering on that again. But here's two of my more recent characters. It's Matilda and Clive. They're both witches from the 1920s, which I know sounds kind of Fantastic Beasts-ish, but they're like your more traditional witches with the pointed nose and the green skin and all that. So there's these guys. I'm still working on a story for them, but they're fun to draw anyway. This one is my least favorite. The theme is deep, and I was trying to go with a this scene from this book that's really good. It's by Jonathan L. Howard, and it's Johannes Cabal the Necromancer. Such a good book. I highly recommend that one. But there's this one part where he is described to be looking down into this location that I won't say because that'll kind of give things away. He's got his lantern and all that. But I had so much plans for this one, and it was supposed to be fantastic and glorious, but everything was working against me that day. The markers where you can see like the streaky lines, like his whole position was, the stairs were, I mean, gosh. But I might come back to this another time and try redrawing it, because I like the idea of it, I just don't like the results. And I forget if I said, but no, I did say it. The theme was deep for this one. And here is one of my favorite ones. It's also the most popular on my Instagram. The theme is Furious. And this is a self-portrait of me screaming in rage at how the day before turned out that Inktober with Johannes Cabal. It was pretty much my exact reaction. Maybe less screaming in real life, but it worked well for this, and I used acrylic inks for the background, and I love how vibrant the colors for acrylic inks are. It's fantastic. Here's Clive again. The theme is trail. Here's a trail of several trails of blood. He's not the healthiest guy in the world, but I do like how this one came out. Again, this was acrylic inks. This was the muted gray one. It looks more purple, but I kind of like the look of it for this one. So this one was a lot of fun to do. This was actually, over the summer, I had done a picture of this. So this is actually a redraw. The first one, I didn't really know how to draw Clive back there because he was very brand new back in the summer. So I definitely like the redraw more. He looks kind of weird and crooked in the original. I think the original's like in an envelope in my other sketchbook. And here's Juicy. I don't know if it's for the drool being juicy or how juicy his next meal is going to be. These are two characters. It's mine and my friend's. This one is mine, and this is my friend's character. And we just have fun with them. They actually have a little dinosaur fellow. Here, my friend actually made me him. It's Mustachiosaurus, but he's sophisticated and wonderful. And he's their friend in their stories. We actually still have to work on a story for it, but ideas are there at least. So that's a start. The fact that we have characters and an idea, that's an excellent start. Next one, the theme for this is blind. And I know he's not totally blind, but he actually does have, this is Nolan St. Lottie again from one of the earlier Inktober doodles. He does actually have an eye patch. He lost an eye because of Auburn, who was the other guy in the earlier Inktober drawing with the swords. So, blood. I guess this would have worked for Trail too. Look at me with the trails of blood. I don't know why, but it was fun to draw. This one! I actually like how this came out. It's called, the theme for it is ship. And at first, like, this was another one that where everything was kind of working against me. You can see right here that, well, I don't know if you can tell in the picture, but there's like a layer of pink underneath the blue. And for some reason it left dots. And then it stuck around when I put the blue over. But it ended up looking like, I don't know, planets or something, so I left it. And the clouds, they're just white India ink, just kind of rubbed on like this. I used my finger, because why not? But yeah, this one was a lot of fun, I have to admit. I got the notebook very wet, though. Oh, I don't know if I said the theme for this one. Ship. This one, the theme is squeak. And look, you can see it. His little prosthetics actually shimmer. I think this one was done with acrylic ink too. Yeah, the silver acrylic ink. But look, it's like an idea, like a future world, and he's got a service robot, and he's probably in a war or something, and lost his arm, legs. But yeah, he's another idea for a story. He does not have a name yet, and neither does the poor robot. This one, I was working like 2 jobs that day, and I had about, I don't know, an hour before midnight to get this one done, so this one was done very quickly. But the theme for this is climb, so poor little cat is in the tree going meow, but he'll get out, I promise. He's safe. He likes it up there. He's got a tree house in the leaves, probably. And the theme for this one is fall. And some people might recognize this. This is actually a character from a movie called The Fall. So it's not actually playing on the theme of fall, but it's called Fall. So yay. This one is United. I kind of like how this one came out. I mean, elderly people are sort of fun to draw in the first place, but I don't draw them very often, so this was good practice for that. But here is my character and his wife. He's not actually this age. Actually, no, he is kind of that age in part of his story, but the majority of the story he's 20 years old, so here's him in the 1980s, I think. This is what he would be. This is the age he'd be. So there's United. This one is Found, and this is actually a scene from this book I read when I was little, The Trumpet of the Swan. Was it C.S. Lewis or E.B. White who did that? I will look that up. I will leave it in the comments. I'm sorry. But I always liked that book. I did a whole school project with it and everything. But this is the part where the boy in the book finds the swans in the very beginning. And they just kind of have their silent moment. And it's really it's a good book. I would recommend it. It's a kid's book, but it's still really sweet. And the last one, Mask. This was actually my dad's idea. I wasn't really sure what to do, so he's like, "Hey, why don't you draw this guy in a mask in front of him, like with a blank face and everything?" So I played on that idea and then added a whole bunch of other masks. So, like with all different expressions. So that's how that came out. And that is all 31 days of Inktober. I had a ton of fun with it. I'm probably going to do it again next year. But thank you so much for watching. If I do it next year, and if this video goes over well, maybe I'll record next year's too. But anyway, have a great evening, because it's evening here right now. It's all dark outside. And, yeah, if you did Inktober this year, let me know in the comments. I'd love to check out your stuff if you have it on Instagram or something, because that's about the only social media I do. But yes, thank you so much for watching. Bye!